Alright, we are back for round 3. Last round I will record and upload. On the draw this time, my opponent moved to 6 and I have a kind of a weird hand. I think it's a keep, but 5 landers, can go wrong pretty quickly. I don't think you can really afford to mulligan a hand that pretty much has all the mana you want and need to cast most spell, except for 2. There's like 2 spells in my deck I cannot cast with this mana. I guess 3 if you count Edge Crafters, because I don't have the 6th one yet, but I should get it. My opponent put a card on top, they are playing white. But yeah, if I draw some more lands, it's gonna be very clunky. But again, I think 5 land, a decent 2-drop, a decent 3-drop on the draw, you kinda wanna keep. Drawing the 6-drop here is fine, as I will have the lands to cast it most likely. I don't have any double black spell that I could wanna cast on turn 3, so I guess I have no reason to show that I'm black yet, but it doesn't really matter, all in all. Now I just hope I don't draw any more land for the rest of the game, basically, and I just draw my bomb rares. Sky Sovereign into Gear Hulk and so on and so forth. Well, Rhino, not a bomb rare, but a pretty solid 3-drop. Better than Guide, I think. So we are playing against another white-black deck. Pretty happy with my hand against white-black. Hedge Crafters, often quite good against white-black because they tend to have a lot of small creatures and not many big enough creatures to block that, so it could be pretty threatening for them. Gearshift Ace, blocking my guide pretty efficiently, I guess, but we'll probably drop the squad here. Not that Guide's ability, if I have a bunch of lands and not much to do during, after I casted Edge Crafter, can help us win the game. It's definitely a relevant ability sometime. And sometime when you are playing, especially when you are playing against white-black, I think, but not only, but mostly, you can end up in situations where there is some sort of board stall where no one can really attack, and this can just break this type of board stall, which is cool. So here my opponent will probably drop another creature and keep them as blockers. If they do, I can just leave my squad back. Don't really wanna, send it to die into the ace. But I guess I should attack with Rhino, because if they want to trade with Artisan and Ace, I'm really happy. I guess if they block with Artisan and use Pump Spell, Build to Last would be the Pump Spell that they could use. It'd be fine. Here we'll just cast the Guide and pass the turn. We could, in theory, we could, not cast the Edge Crafter and double Guide next turn to attack with the Guide itself and the squad, and they take 7 down to 7, and we do it again the turn after that, and they die. And unless they play something with 3 power or a removal, which, well, it's pretty likely that they have one or the other, but if they don't, they die. And something like, what's the name of that card again? Revoke Privileges doesn't really help them here. They don't sorry, they don't have the double black, which is necessary to a fair amount of black removal spells, like Essence Extraction and Tidy Conclusion. So they might not have the answer to, that. I guess they can revoke Privileges here, and then I don't have then it's not a 2-turn clock anymore. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not blocking here. I mean, sure, I can use this ability, but now I can attack. I mean, they could have another Gearshift Ace, I guess. But now I can attack, without using the ability. Drawing a land was bad, but we are in good shape. I kind of feel like they have the 3 damage, the impeccable timing here. Otherwise, attacking is kind of weird. Or they are just jumping, maybe? Yeah. I don't know why you would attack, given that, sure, I can use that and then you cannot block, but if you make me use that, I cannot do anything else, so I don't think I agreed with that play. I think you should attack with Artisan, I think it's right, but I think you should keep the ace back, So I have to spend 3 mana to deal you damage, basically, if I want to, which here would have been pretty annoying for me to pay. So now they pretty much need an answer for that, otherwise they are quite dead, quite fast. But white-black does have a ton of removal usually. Again, they still don't have the double black for the tidy conclusion, but I could see, you know, another revoke privileges happening. You know, if they have another revoke privileges, well, I still have a lot of pressure with the guide. Maven's in trouble, but I'm kind of flooded here, so if they have something good enough, things could go wrong. Okay, Angel is pretty good for them. Pretty much stops the beatdown of everything but the Edgecrafters. They still need to find an answer to the Edgecrafter, and they cannot really attack with Angel. They were able to make that a 3/3, so now it can block the guide, which is good for them. Blossoming Defense is interesting. So I guess if I make these two unblockable, I mean, not being able to block, they block here, they trade here and try to eat the Rhino, and then I Blossoming Defense. The thing is, it might not be right to attack with Guide because they will block there. I mean, I could give that I will say unblockable even though it's not unblockable, but you know what I'm talking about. To the Rhino. But then if I do that and only attack with Rhino, they are pretty likely to, you know, smell the removal and, I mean, the trick and double block on Rhino, and then I still lose the Rhinos. I could only attack with Edgecrafter. That's an option. Actually, I think I will go with that option, which is attacking with Edgecrafter, keeping Blossoming Defense to protect the Edgecrafter, or have lethal with Edgecrafter next turn if they don't block. But the other line, which is... and I guess they can double block here. They could try to double block. And I would be pretty fine with that. Yeah, sure. This is gonna be a blowout. Here, I get rid of both creature. I still have lethal next turn, and I don't lose my guide, which is pretty key. I would assume they have the essence extraction here. I mean the Gearsmith. I was trying to talk about the taking the Angel though. Interesting. Going for a more grindy plan. Okay. But they do, I mean, the Gearsmith will die this turn. So, since the Gearsmith has to die, they cannot really get that much value of the Angel. So I'm not sure, I think they should have probably taken the Artisan, and then they could have double blocked on the Edgecrafter. I don't know. Could have, you know, played that first so I could boost my Rhino, but it doesn't really change my clock. They pretty much will and have to block here. And now I can have the rats have 2 power next turn, which... I mean, be a 2/3, which is relevant because they have the Gearshift Ace as a blocker. I don't know, I'm not convinced about how I play this game. But I guess what happened is that I was pretty far ahead all game, so I might have not thought enough about my plays. Yeah, I probably should have... I don't know. Maybe I should have attacked with everything. But then I would have blocked the guide with their 3/3 and try to eat the Rhino with the Angel. And if they block the guide with the angel. It's really well. Yeah, they could have blocked the guide with the angel, but it's not great. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like attacking and trading my defense for both blocker and still having lethal next turn most likely was fine. But maybe it was wrong. Either way, my open deck seems pretty solid so far. Some type of white-black mid-range value deck. Yeah, the angel, chaining angels with restoration Gearsmith is gonna be pretty hard for me to beat. Given that we only saw angel, I don't think I want take down yet. If they show some popular pioneer or stuff like that, or some bats, I might want to put that in deck, but right now I don't think so. White-black might be fairly aggressive, so I don't think on the draw I want the colony over Skygate, though depending on how games 2 go, and if I lose it, I might go with colony on the play for the third game, but here I don't think it's the right move to make. Leaf fast is usually fine in this type of matchup. White-black tends to go wide, but so far it mostly seemed like a white-black value deck more than a white-black beatdown, go wide, inspired charge deck. So, given all these, I might just keep the deck the way it is. Make obsolete might be good though. Hazardous condition I think is not exactly what we want here. It kills a fair amount of our creatures. Not sure what I would cut for make obsolete. Edgecrafters, well, they seem pretty good. Maybe I don't love the 6-drop on the draw though. I think I'll play make obsolete over Edgecrafter for this game because I'm on draw and having a bit more defense might be good, and they might be a bit more aggressive and a bit more go wide than I thought, and they showed some at least 1/2/1 for 2, which make obsolete is pretty good against. So I don't know, it feels fine siding this way, but it might be wrong, I don't know. Here we don't have a second color, but it's a keeper. I mean, turn 3 Rhino with defense backup is kind of solid. Hopefully we'll get to draw something. I mean, either things we can cast or things we can, or other lands, I guess. Okay, well, we got 1 black, so now, I guess I cannot cast the double black cards from my deck, but I can cast most things. Unlicensed Disintegration would be a pretty bad top deck, but other than that, it's looking fine. Doomed Operative, right on time. I mean, it's fine, because I will probably cast it next turn, I don't have anything else to do. I might Blossoming Defense, but, I can still cast the Operative. And I would not have been able to attack into the Pile-Up Bug anyway, so it doesn't really matter there. I think I will block. If they have a combat... It's kind of a close call. I think there's a chance they just want to gain 2 life and they have a 3-drop to play. That's the reason why I'm blocking. If they have a combat trick, well, I kind of want to... use my Blossoming Defense, but... The thing is, if they do have a combat trick and this dies, then my board is not great. No, I think it's fine. I think they just want 2 life. And if they have a combat trick, oh well, they can trade their combat trick for my Rhino. Turns out they did not have anything. Okay, good. The thing is, my opponent attack was pretty free, so it felt like, ooh, Gearhulk, that's amazing. Probably the single best card I could have top decked. Though I guess given their board, the Sky Sovereign would have been very good too. So here I can set up a double block on the squads, and if my opponent tries to use a pump spell or a removal, I can Blossoming Defense and, end up in fine spot. Otherwise, without the Blossoming Defense, I think I would just, I would most likely just attack with the Rhino and start some type of race. And we drew a mountain too. How lucky can you get? How lucky can you get? Now it's kind of tough because I kind of want to keep Blossoming Defense available all time. I have two amazing targets for my Furious Reprisal. My opponent is pretty much tapped out. There's nothing they can do for one black to save their creatures. So I think, even though Gear Hulk is strong and all, I think the right play is Reprisal, keeping defense back up, and then we can Gear Hulk with defense back up. And it's also a bit safer, I take less damage. And, you know, when you cast Reprisal, killing a 2-4 drop, it's like, oh. It feels so good. Feels good, man. And I guess I will probably just beat down with the Rhino, make it a 3-4. And if my opponent chooses to attack with Bug next turn and, you know, drain me for 2, it's not a great trade because they deal 2, gain 2, and I only deal 3, so it's kinda better for them, but it's not the end of the world. And they might not even have the mana to pay for the Bug. They might not want to pay for the Bug, not attack with the Bug because they want to keep it to block. And, you know, I mean, it's slightly good for them to drain me here, better than 3 damage is, but not much better. And there are scenarios in which my opponent doesn't really want to attack or cannot pay, and in which case attacking with Rhino is just pretty much free. Responder. Okay, Responder is quite threatening. Very good card. I think the Gear Hulk should put us in a very solid spot though. This is pretty much what this card does. Especially with the Blossoming Defense backup. And even if my opponent has something like... what's the name of that card again? Fumigate. You know, they lose 2 creatures plus a card from their hand. I lose 3 cards, so it's it's even. It's 3 for 3, if you will. And then I still have some threats in my hand. So I think we want 1 counter here and 2 counter there. One here maybe. Pretty sure I want 2 there, but you know, let's do that. I think as long as you put 2 counters on the Doomed Operative, it doesn't matter that much where you put the other one. Maybe 1 more on the Rhino instead of the Gear Hulk is better because it's 1 more damage this turn right now. But yeah, I guess if they Fumigate, they gain 9 life because 4 from their creature this turn plus 5, so they go up to 19. Then I have Tiger with Blossoming Defense backup. They have 2 cards left in hand. Like, even a Fumigate would not be the worst, but it would be good. And I think if they don't have Fumigate, they just cannot really win. Because I have basically 3 creatures they must deal with on the board, plus a card to dodge any removal. I'm not very likely to cast the Tiger next turn, though. I don't really want to overextend into Fumigate. It will depend on how they play, though. But I don't think I will cast the Tiger. If they start making some double blocks and stuff, maybe, but I don't think so. I might play the Skygate, but Tiger is not something I will cast. Most likely. It's not sure. It's not sure. If they play more creature, though, it probably indicates that they don't have the thing. Okay, Fairground Warden on the Doomed Operative. Yeah, we'll keep the 4/5, the 5/4 Death Touch around. I think we wanna do that. And if they had Fumigate in hand, they would never cast Warden first. Like, it's the non-bow. So they might have it in the deck, but I cannot really think of them having the card in their hand. Well, I guess we drew that, so it makes things simpler as it... Yeah, okay. I think we'll just cast that and the opponent might just concede because they've seen enough Mythic for that game. if I knew I had that in hand, I would not even have bothered protect my operative. Though I guess it would have came back, but smaller, so maybe it was still worth doing. But obviously I did not know I would do that. But here we just kill the responder. We just smash them. If they have fumigates, we continue to smash them. It's like, yeah. That's what happens when you cast a Gear Hulk and Sky Sovereign in the same game. I guess I could have a pump spell to save the responder, but honestly, yeah. I don't really see what's gonna save them at this point. Turns out casting Mythic is good in limited. My opponent is a funny guy. I like this style. Very, very constructive, efficient. Yeah. uh, I try not to make fun of my opponent or to be mean or anything, but what if you comment, if you PM me something like that, I have to show it. I mean, it's just what the hell, man. Okay. Okay, they did have a trick which doesn't change match for us. It probably means we are not attacking though, because I don't really want to trade any of my creature for the Pilar Bug because they can double block. I mean, if they double block here, they gain 3 but take 10 in the process. We can probably afford to attack actually. I mean, I understand it's annoying when you get destroyed by Mythic and you cannot do anything, but I mean, this is the game. Is there any reason to to call me a noob? I don't think so. Here we will trade one of our creature for a pretty bad creature, because they can double block, obviously. But they also have to chump block or take 10 in the process. And even if they do gain 3, it's fine. Yep. As expected. Well, I guess I gain 5, but take 4. It's fine. I think it's worth it. Maybe it's not. It's kinda close. No, I think it's fine. I think you can go with both lines. Maybe waiting is slightly better. The thing is, my opponent was at 12 and now they're at 6, so overall I still dealt a fair amount of damage this game. So I guess they are just writing yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, the only thing I can answer is that this is the game we play. If you don't like it, just play chess and then you will not have to bother about randomness. But, I mean, yeah. I would be annoyed if I was my opponent. It's annoying, sure. You draw too many lands, your opponent played unbeatable cards, yeah, sure. But, I mean, if it's unbearable for you, just do something else. Like, this is not like, it's not like you're not forced to play that. It's not the only game in the world. Well, I guess I will just stop the recording there because I think my opponent's just gonna make me wait a bit and maybe talk a bit. I don't really know, but it's probably not really interesting. And I don't really think there's anything that can make them come back. I mean, if they make a move in the next 30 seconds, sure, we'll finish the game. Otherwise, I might just stop it there and have a nice chat with them. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have some bad strikes and you're not lucky for quite a long time, and there's nothing you can do, and it feels bad. It feels really bad, and I can just understand that. But yeah, I mean, this is how it is. This is how it is. So yeah, if my opponent doesn't make a move in 5 seconds, no, not in five, at let's say 30 seconds, we'll just stop it there. Again, as I said last match, I will not upload more because I don't want to talk too much. I'm coughing a lot, and also I don't really think that many people are interested in seeing 8 rounds of sealed. I think you pretty much saw what the deck was capable of and what it would do during these first 3 rounds. So yeah, I think it's enough, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to drop a like if it's the case. If you have anything to say, I think mostly regarding deck building. Like I mean the games, there was a couple plays I could have made better, but I don't think nothing too crazy happened. Or maybe I missed something. I could have missed something, but um, if you have, on the other hand, any question or any suggestion about the deck building, because there might be something you would have done differently, or uh, some things you think you are wrong, let me know. I'd be happy to discuss that. And I guess I'll let you know what my final score, what I ended up doing with that deck. Pretty good start here, 3-0, but obviously it could easily go wrong, and the longer this will go on, the more I will face deck that do have some pretty powerful mythic, as I do, or some very efficient and synergistic deck with a bunch of removal. So it's gonna be tough, but definitely a good start. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to drop a like, a comment. Thank you for watching, and see you for another event.